It started with a notification that shouldn't have been mine. A soft ping on my phone at 11:43 p.m., the night before my wedding. I thought it was one of the groomsmen, maybe a reminder, a joke, a nervous check-in, but it wasn't. The group name read, Bridesmaids, Cuss, Wine. At first I thought it was spam, but then I saw her name, Anna, my fiancée. She was typing. My pulse slowed, then accelerated, then slowed again, like my heart couldn't decide which rhythm to die to. Don't worry, girls, I'll still sneak away with Jason before the honeymoon. Followed by a cascade of laughing emojis, applause. One wrote, "You're terrible, Anna." They all laughed. I didn't. My thumb hovered over the screen, motionless. The room felt small, the air thinner. My reflection in the mirror across the room didn't look shocked, just still, hollow. I waited, watched the conversation unfold like a slow-burning fuse. No one realized I was there. No one knew the groom was watching. By midnight, the chat fell silent. But inside me, something had just begun to wake up. I stared at her name for a long time after that. Anna, the woman I thought I knew better than anyone. Her laughter still echoed in my mind. The kind of laugh that sounded like sunlight, but now tasted like rust. She texted me a few minutes later, as if nothing had happened. "Can't sleep. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Heart." I stared at that heart emoji, wondered if she sent the same one to him. It would have been easy to call her, to ask, but I didn't. Instead, I typed back, "Same here. Love you." And in that moment, I realized something cold. She'd never see it coming, not because I'd hide my rage, but because she'd never imagine I was capable of silence. That night, I didn't sleep. I just listened to the clock. Each tick sounded like a countdown to the end of something I hadn't realized was already dead. At dawn, I looked at my reflection again. The man in the mirror looked composed, but behind his eyes, something had been severed, cleanly, permanently. I didn't cancel the wedding right away. That would have been too simple. Instead, I decided to watch. Every interaction, every message, every word from her lips became evidence. I played along perfectly, smiling during rehearsal, kissing her forehead, pretending to be the man she thought I still was. But underneath, I was dissecting her. I checked her phone through the shared cloud backup she once bragged about setting up. Every photo, every chat, every message. Her ex, Jason, appeared like a shadow, always around the edges of her life. A message from 3 weeks ago, "Just one last time before you're officially his." And her reply, "Promise it'll stay between us." I felt the tremor in my hand, but I didn't rage. I didn't throw the phone. Instead, I smiled, because now I had the truth, and something more powerful than anger, control. The next day, I contacted the hotel manager, quietly canceled the honeymoon reservation. Then, I made one small adjustment to the guest list, removed myself. No one would notice until it was too late. I imagined her walking down the aisle, expecting me to be there, the smile on her lips, the moment that smile would freeze. That image kept me calm, almost serene. That evening, I met her at the rehearsal dinner. She looked radiant, glowing under the warm lights, moving from one guest to another with a practiced charm. When she saw me, she slipped her hand into mine like nothing had ever happened. I watched her lips move, but I didn't listen. Her words meant nothing now, just background noise to a truth I'd already dissected. Later that night, I asked her quietly, "Do you still talk to Jason?" She froze, just slightly, then smiled. "No, of course not." The lie slid out effortlessly. But I'd already seen the message time-stamped from 2 hours ago. "See you tomorrow morning before the ceremony." I just nodded, kissed her cheek, and whispered, "Good night." She had no idea it was the last word I'd ever say to her. Morning came. The world moved as if nothing had shifted. Sunlight, flowers, laughter. But underneath, a silence grew like frost. At 9 a.m., the ceremony began. Guests seated, music playing. But there was no groom. She stood there in her white dress, scanning the aisle, her smile faltering, eyes darting toward the doors that never opened. Then her bridesmaid's phone buzzed, the same group chat. I had sent one message, just one screenshot. Her words, her confession, her betrayal, broadcast to every bridesmaid in the group, every friend who had laughed with her. The message delivered. Then I left the chat. By the time she saw it, I was already gone. No dramatic exit, no confrontation, just absence. That was the real revenge, leaving her alone with the echo of her own laughter. I drove until the city disappeared in the rearview mirror. The tuxedo still hung in the back seat, untouched. The ring rested on the passenger seat like something that never belonged to me. For the first time in months, my chest felt light. Not free, just empty in a way that no longer hurt. I thought about her face when she realized. The confusion, the panic, the silence. That silence was mine now. There's a strange peace in walking away before the explosion, before everything burns. You don't need to watch the wreckage to know it's there. I stopped at a gas station, bought a bottle of water, and checked my phone one last time. Dozens of missed calls, hundreds of messages. None of them mattered. I deleted everything. Every photo, every chat, every trace. Then I whispered, to no one in particular, "You said you'd sneak away before the honeymoon." I smiled faintly. "I just beat you to it," and drove on, into the clean quiet of nowhere. Sometimes the cruelest revenge isn't leaving someone behind, it's letting them realize you already have.